Welcome to the Everton News Daily. Everton have signed a club record sponsorship deal with betting company Stake.com. It's a multi-year agreement, it's what the club have said, and it's the biggest in the club's 144-year history. There's a lot of people not happy with this, but I guess in the current climate, Everton have obviously lost a big chunk of money due to the USM stuff having to stop. And the club have looked around, and at the moment they've taken the biggest offer that they could get. You know, obviously you've got to replace when there's a hole in the budget. You've got to try to replace that. I understand people aren't happy with it, particularly, you know, being a dad myself. I've got a child who won't have the sponsorship on the shirt this season, and he won't be happy with that. But it is what it is, and the club have got to do what they've got to do. Stake also lists Manchester City and Barcelona as clients on their list, as well as former Manchester City striker Sergio Aguero and singer Drake, apparently, is part of their stable as well. They've said it's an honour to be associated with a club with the history of Everton Football Club, and they look to grow together. But I imagine for Everton, they'll be looking for this, you know, to take, you know, to fill, like I've said, that financial hole at the moment in the budget. And as we move forward towards Bramley Moor Dock, I imagine there's definitely a break clause in this agreement, and Everton would choose a different route moving forward. But it is what it is at the moment, and it is the biggest deal in the club's commercial history. So for that, I think the club will be quite happy with what they've got there. Everton owner Farhad Moshiri last night issued an open letter to fans apologising for the previous season. Moshiri admitted that mistakes had been made and the club had underperformed. I think we all know that. He did stop short of making any kind of reference to focus on the board or whatever. I've seen some criticism of that in the statements. I think it's a good thing to communicate. I think it's what we've all asked for. I think it's very important that there's communication throughout the club. And I've seen different arguments with this, with some people saying owners never speak to the fans. So I think it's a positive thing he's come out and said that stuff, because I think it is important to be self-aware. You know, there were mistakes made. He's made a lot of these mistakes by being, you know, jumping into, you know, trying to meddle with stuff, you know, having agents involved and all that. All that has to stop. There has been a lot of stuff taking place behind the scenes. We have to allow them processes to grow. He has to stay away, allow Kevin Thelwell to get on with the recruitment side, and obviously putting stuff and practices on the playing side in. There's new commercial stuff going on. I think there's been an article out today actually about the changes in the commercial side. That'll be evidenced by results, really. If we see Everton's commercial incomes continuing to grow and grow, then we can obviously judge that when that happens. But certainly, you know, the owner has to stay out of this. Yes, people want changes at boardroom level. I'm not disagreeing with that. I would like, even if I know some people want people to leave the board, but even if those people didn't actually leave the board, I still want people to come in with proven track records and come on and make us stronger. You know, if the changes are going to be at the board, then sound. But if you're not going to change the people who are on there at the moment, then bring some other market leaders, some experts in, and really try to grow moving forward. I think everyone will be happy with that. But ultimately, let people get on with their jobs, and let's try to take this club forward, because we've spent too much time either treading water or actually going backwards, and we've got to turn this around and start moving forward. Moving on to the playing side of things, Everton and Wolves lead the race apparently for Hull winger Keane Lewis-Potter. It's been mentioned again. It was mentioned last week there being an inquiry by Everton. The 21-year-old winger has a year left at Hull. Wolves are very interested in him as well as a couple of other unnamed clubs. Everton clearly looking at a younger profile, which is a welcome thing for most Evertonians. I think we've realised that there's got to be a way for us to grow, and it may well have to be through patience and through getting young, more mobile, athletic footballers into the club. And finally, Everton again today, linked with a move for Chelsea striker Armando Broja. We know that Frank Lampard gave the 20-year-old his debut when he was manager at Chelsea. He's been on loan at Southampton last season. He scored 6 Premier League goals in 32 games. He got 9 in all competitions, but he's only 20, and he's highly rated. Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel is mulling over whether to keep him around the first team squad this season, but Everton are very interested in him. Southampton and West Ham have been credited with an interest in him as well. But if Everton are to lose Richarlison, and he's been linked with a move to Chelsea as well as other places, if Everton are to lose one of their frontmen, then he would certainly be someone who's got the potential to grow. I think he'd be an excellent signing for Everton if you could get him out of Stamford Bridge. That's it for the News Daily. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and if you want more videos, join us on Patreon. See you later.